Introduction. Learning a new language can be daunting for anyone, especially for a beginner. I understand the uncertainty that comes with figuring out where to start from, what's important, and what's not important. Furthermore, beginners are often pressured with an unrealistic time frame they set themselves to become fluent in the new language. The truth is, there is no set time as to how fast you can learn a new language. What is important are the goals you set for yourself the moment you decide to learn. Each time you pick up your study materials, have a set goal for that day, week, and month. You'll find this is a terrific help in evaluating and recording your progress. Teaching and writing language books has helped me understand a beginner's struggle. I know it can seem difficult and even scary when you first try to come to grips with a new language. That's why I use a step-by-step approach in writing my books, so you can learn effectively and become fluent in record time. In Learn Italian for Beginners, you will be taught the following extensively. 1. The foundations of Italian language. 2. Learning strategies. 3. The fundamentals of Italian. 4. Numbers, colors, time, and dates in Italian. 5. Nouns and articles. 6. Pronouns. 7. Verbs. 8. Adjectives. 9. Prepositions, adverbs, and conjunctions. 10. Conversational phrases. At the end of each chapter, there are practical and fun exercises to help what you've learned stick better in your mind. These exercises will assist in giving you the speaking confidence you need. If you have been seeking a hands-on approach to learning Italian in the simplest way, then this book is your best bet. Don't just take my word for it. You'll discover it for yourself when, as we go through the next chapters, you see how easily you're picking up the beautiful language of Italy. Chapter 1. The Foundations of Italian Language. The foundation of the Italian language is Latin, the speech of the ancient Romans. From the 1600s onwards, Italian was worked upon and developed to become closer to our modern language. In 1861, Tuscan became the official Italian dialect during the unification of Italy. For centuries, dialects have been used for everyday communication due to the high level of illiteracy in local communities. Although standard Italian is now prevalent amongst the younger generation, there are still certain regions in Italy where dialects are used to communicate. As expected, apart from dialects that change based on region, accents also change based on the region of a native Italian speaker. A native from Florentine will have a slightly different accent from other speakers in regions like Pisa or Livorno. In the past, there was discrimination against the use of dialects. People thought it was used by low-class citizens in society, while standard Italian was spoken by the elites. However, now that certain regional terms are used as part of standard Italian in poetry and literature, there has been a drastic positive change in people's mindsets. In the 1950s, Italy began a restructuring in economics, infrastructure, politics, and society. At this time, as stated earlier, there was a high level of illiteracy, and many people couldn't speak Italian fluently. Because of this, the Italian Constitution was established, which gave everyone the right to basic education. However, often only the children of affluent families could afford to go on to university. Television was introduced in 1954, and this perhaps was a major factor in the unification of the Italian language. TV programs were broadcast by the state broadcaster RAI, and in the following years, television became a way for people to bond over shared cultural programs and language models. From 1960 to 1968, RAI broadcast a show in the late afternoon, Non è mai troppo tardi, It's Never Too Late, which was presented by the teacher Alberto Manzi. Because of this show, many people were helped to read and write, and an estimated number of 1.5 million Italians managed to get their primary education certificate during this period. For this reason, it became easy to spread a standard Italian language through TV programs, economic growth, and better quality of life. Chapter Summary. The Italian language finds its origin in Latin. From the 1600s, it was worked upon and developed to what is the present-day Italian. In 1950, Italy began an economic, political, and social restructuring. At this time, as stated earlier, there was a high level of illiteracy, and many people couldn't speak Italian fluently. From 1960 to 1968, RAI broadcast a show in the late afternoon, Non è mai troppo tardi, It's Never Too Late. This had a significant effect on helping people to learn how to read and write. As many as 1.5 million Italians got their primary education certificate during this period. In the next chapter, you will be equipped with learning strategies. Chapter 2, Learning Strategies. Learning strategies refer to the well-thought-out steps that will guide and improve your learning process. If your goal is to learn Italian as quickly as you can, it is in your best interest to follow these steps. 1. Don't learn and translate consecutively. Just as it is unproductive to write and edit at the same time, it is also unproductive to read or listen to Italian and translate to English in your head at the same time. It is better you finish memorizing or understanding a few sentences or words before you translate. The reason is that you don't want to get the meaning of words and translation of sentences mixed up or have the wrong pronunciation stuck in your head. 2. Focus on words that you will likely use in your regular conversations. If you go by the route of cramming words, you will not learn Italian as soon or as effectively as you'd like. The truth is, there are tons of words out there, and how many of them will you remember correctly? No, I think the real question here is, how many of them will you use in your everyday conversations? This should be a pointer to you that the smartest and easiest way to learn is to start with words you will most likely use during an ordinary day. 3. Mistakes are inevitable. One major hindrance to progress is fear. People are afraid of making mistakes, even on their first try, but this shouldn't be the case. If you allow the fear of making mistakes to stop you from speaking, you will not be able to speak Italian. At best, you will be able to understand, but you won't be able to respond in Italian. Have it at the back of your mind that the worst that can happen is people will laugh and say you didn't pronounce a word correctly or that you said the wrong thing. And you should let them know you're still learning and are open to corrections. Do this and watch the admiration people will have for you. You'll find that most Italians will be delighted that you're trying to learn their language. 4. There is no perfect study guide. Many people waste too much precious time looking for the perfect study material. Don't get me wrong, though, it's a fine idea to look for good study materials or guides, just like this one. However, you should focus on the learning process more than the content of the guide. 5. Don't stop learning. There's a point you will get to in your learning process that will seem like you were at your peak, and there's nothing more you can learn. But this isn't true. When you feel as though you have reached your peak, instead of learning more, take some time to recall and practice all you know. When you do this, you'll be surprised at how much you have learned and how fluent you've become. The above listed strategies have been provided to aid your journey. Follow them closely and for maximum results. Chapter Summary. Learning strategies refer to the well-thought-out steps that will guide and improve your learning process. There are 5 learning strategies that will help you learn and speak Italian as quickly as possible. In the next chapter, you will learn the fundamentals of Italian. Chapter 3, The Fundamentals of Italian. The fundamentals of any language include the basic but necessary first things to know about that language. It is the foundation upon which the learning structure is built. Just as in any language, there is some foundational knowledge to acquire when learning Italian. Understanding these elements will make sure you can communicate effectively in Italian. I've listed them below. 1. Alphabets. 2. Numbers. 3. Colors. 4. Time. 5. Date. 6. Nouns. 7. Articles. 8. Pronouns. 9. Verbs. 10. Adjectives. 11. Prepositions. 12. Adverbs. 13. Conjunctions. We're going to take a look at the simplest of them, and that is the alphabet in Italian. Alphabet in Italian. There are 21 letters in the Italian alphabet, consisting of 6 vowels A, E, I, O, U, and 16 consonants. Furthermore, letters J, K, W, X, and Y do not exist in the Italian alphabet. Instead, they are referred to as foreign consonants. 1. A, 2. B, 3. C, 4. D, 5. E, 6. F, 7. G, 8. H, 9. I, 10. L, 11. M, 12. N, 13. O, 14. P, 15. Q, 16. R, 17. S, 18. T, 19. U, 20. V, 21. Z. Chapter Summary. The fundamentals of any language include the basic but necessary first things to know about that language. It's the foundation upon which the learning structure is built. These fundamental parts of the Italian language will help make sure you can communicate effectively in Italian and have an amazing experience while at it. There are 21 letters in the Italian alphabet, consisting of 6 vowels and 16 consonants. Furthermore, letters J, K, W, X, and Y do not exist in the Italian alphabet. Instead, they are referred to as foreign consonants. In the next chapter, you will learn numbers, colors, time, and date in Italian. Chapter 4. Numbers, colors, time, and date in Italian. Seeing that you have come a long way in learning Italian, and you can even string a couple of sentences together, it is important that you know other useful words that will help your fluency. Words like numbers, colors, times, and dates are words that are significant in everyday conversation. In this chapter, you will learn how to say numbers, colors, dates, and tell the time in Italian. Numbers in Italian. When you're learning a new language, knowing your numbers is vital if you want to go out to shop, or give people you meet your phone number, tell people your birthday, or to discuss significant dates. Italian numbers are simple to recall, and they follow a basic pattern. For easy learning, I have placed the numbers into different groups, so let's get started. Number 0 to 19. When it comes to learning numbers, we need to begin with the simplest ones before going to more complex numbers. 0, zero. 1, uno. 2, due. 3, tre. 4, quattro. 5, cinque. 6, sei. 7, sette. 8, otto. 9, nove. 10, dieci. 11, undici. 12, dodici. 13, tredici. 14, quattordici. 15, quindici. 16, sedici. 17, diciassette. 18, diciotto. 19, diciannove. Before I discuss the multiples of 10 and other numbers in between, there are certain rules that govern numbering in Italian. 1. All Italian cardinal numbers are not gender compliant, except number 1, uno, which takes a feminine form, una, when used to refer to feminine objects. An example is, ho comprato una rosa, which means I bought 1 rose. However, sometimes una is shortened to un, when the feminine name that follows it begins with a vowel. For example, ho solo un'arancia in frigo, which means I've only got 1 orange in the fridge. 2. Cardinal numbers, from 11 to 16, are formed from number 10 as its root, behind, while the other digit stays in front. For example, 13 in Italian is tredici, which is tre, 3, plus dici, 10. 3. Numbers 17 to 19 differ somewhat from numbers 11 to 16 in the sense that they are switched. The root number 10, dici, becomes the prefix, while the other number becomes the root. For example, 19 is written as diciannove, which is dici plus nove. If you notice, the letter an was added just after dici and before nove. The same applies to 17, diciassette, where as is added after dici. The only exception is with 18, diciotto, and the reason is that the first letter after dici is a vowel. Multiples of 10. 20, venti, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90, 100, 100. Multiples of 10 except 20 have the same root name that ends in nta. For example, 30, 40, and 50 are 30, 40, 50, respectively. Now that you know numbers 1 to 20 and the multiples of 10 in Italian, it is time to learn all the other numbers in between. These are called compound numbers. Starting from 21, all you need to do to get a compound number is add any number from 1 to 10 behind the root number 20. However, when making a compound number with the numbers 1, uno, and 8, otto, you have to drop the last vowel of the root number to accommodate the first vowel of the additional number. Below are some compound numbers. Compound numbers: 20, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, 30, 30. Other compound numbers: 31, 31, 32, 32, 33, 33, 34, 34, 35, 35, 36, 36, 37, 37, 38, 38, 39, 39, 40, 40, 41, 41, 42, 42, 43, 43, 44, 44, 45, 45, 46, 46, 47, 47, 48, 48, 49, 49, 50, 50, 51, 51, 52, 52, 53, 53, 54, 54, 55, 55, 56, 56, 57, 57, 58, 58, 59, 59, 60, 60, 61, 61, 62, 62, 63, 63, 64, 64, 65, 65, 66, 66, 67, 67, 68, 68, 69, 69, 73, 73, 74, 74, 75, 75, 76, 76, 77, 77, 78, 78, 79, 79, 83, 83, 84, 84, 85, 85, 86, 86, 87, 87, 88, 88, 89, 89, 93, 93, 94, 94, 95, 95, 96, 96, 97, 97, 98, 98, 99, 99. In Italy, it is not uncommon to hear people use numbers to talk about certain years. For example, someone could say, "I was born in 1994," and it would be translated to "Sono nato nel 94." Complex numbers. Seeing that you have successfully learned from 1 to 100, it is time to learn even more complex numbers. When writing bigger numbers, there are differences between the U.S. way of writing numbers and the Italian way. In simpler words, the Italian way of writing numbers is much more similar to the British way. For example, Italians would say or write 1100 as 1,100, 1100, which is the same way Britons would say it. Unlike Americans, that would say or write the same number as 1100. Below are examples of some complex numbers. 100, 100, 101, 101, 150, 150, 200, 200, 300, 300, 400, 400, 500, 500, 600, 600, 700, 700, 800, 800, 900, 900, 1000, 1000, 1001, 1001, 1200, 1200, 2000, 2000, 5000, 5000, 10.000, 10,000, 15.000, 15,000, 100.000, 100,000, 500.000, 500,000, 1.000.000, 1 million, 5 milioni, 5 million, 1 miliardo, 1 billion. Multiples of 100 are formed by adding the corresponding number from 1 to 9 in front of the root number cento. For instance, 200, 200, 300, 300, 400, 400, etc. It is also worthy of note that 100 has no plural form. For example, ho speso 300 euro per quel vestito, which is translated in English as, I paid 300 euros for that dress. Finally, unlike cento, mille has its plural form to be mila. For example, 2.000, 2,000, and 3.000, 3,000. Milione, million, and miliardo, billion, also have plural forms, which are milioni and miliardi, respectively. Ordinal numbers in Italian. Just as ordinal numbers are used to indicate a position in English, the same also applies in Italian. Ordinal numbers are easy to learn, especially beyond 10, so if you can learn the ordinal numbers from 1 to 10, you will have no difficulty learning higher numbers, as they are formed by adding the suffix esimo to the cardinal number. Primo, first, secondo, second, terzo, third, quarto, fourth, quinto, fifth, sesto, sixth, settimo, seventh, ottavo, eighth, nono, ninth, decimo, 10th. However, you will need to ditch the last vowel of the number and add esimo. For instance, 11th in Italian is formed when you ditch the final vowel in undici, 11, and add esimo. Therefore, 11th in Italian is undicesimo. Undicesimo, 11th. Dodicesimo, 12th. Tredicesimo, 13th. Quattordicesimo, 14th. Quindicesimo, 15th. Sedicesimo, 16th. Diciassettesimo, 17th. Diciotesimo, 18th. Diciannovesimo, 19th. Ventesimo, 20th. Cinquantesimo, 50th. Centesimo, 100th. Millesimo, 1000th. Millionesimo, millionth. Milliardesimo, billionth. In summary, knowing your numbers is an important aspect in learning any language, and with all you have learned so far, what you need to do next is to practice with close friends, while shopping, or even in front of a mirror. This is because the best way to learn something new and have it become a part of you is through constant practice, which you can do even while driving. You can make audio recordings and listen to them as you drive. Have fun. Colors in Italian. I colori della bandiera italiana sono rosso, bianco e verde. Sounds cool, right? What you just read in Italian is, the colors of the Italian flag are red, white, and green. A world without colors would be a boring place, and colors make people attractive through clothes, makeup, and even hair. Even food looks better when it has so many colors, and a practical example is the world-famous Italian pasta. Let's take a look at some colors in Italian. Red, il rosso. Orange, l'arancione. Yellow, il giallo. Green, il verde. Light blue, l'azzurro. Blue, il blu. Purple, il viola. Pink, il rosa. Brown, il marrone. Black, il nero. Gray, il grigio. White, il bianco. Many colors in Italian change their gender, depending on the noun they describe. If the color ends in O, it will change to E when used for a feminine word. For example, the red shirt is translated as una camicia rossa. This is because shirt in Italian is feminine, so rosso, red, changes to rosa. Jewelry and precious stones also have different colors, from gold to silver, bronze, etc., and I will show you what some of them are called. Gold, oro. Rose gold, oro rosa. Silver, argento. Bronze, bronzo. Emerald, smeraldo. Sapphire, zaffiro. Ruby, rubino. Jade, giada. Onyx, onice. With this knowledge of colors in Italian, you can confidently walk into a gelato shop in Italy or any store and say the colors of what you want if you can't pronounce the flavors. It is also important that you remember the gender of the word a color describes. Telling the time. No matter where you are in the world, you should know how to tell the time. The obvious reason would be so you aren't late for appointments, but other things are possible. You might be prescribed timed medication in a foreign country. And if you don't know how to tell the time in that language, how will you know when to take your meds correctly? I can come up with many reasons why you should be able to tell the time in the language you are learning, which in this case is Italian, but I won't bore you with that. Suffice to say, it's something you need to know. Listed below are some tricks that will help you learn and tell the time in no time, pun intended. 1. Since you have learned numbers earlier in this chapter, it will be easy for you to get this first trick, which is to know the numbers 1 to 60. Those are the numbers that make up seconds, minutes, and hours when telling time. 2. The second thing you need to know is, in Italy, the 24-hour format is used. So, for example, unlike in North America, where 12 midnight is written as 12 o'clock a.m., in Europe, Italy included, since the 24-hour format is used, 12 o'clock a.m. would be 0:00. There is no use of a.m. or p.m. to differentiate day from night, since the numbers just keep increasing. This means, once it is past noon, 1 p.m., for instance, would be 1300. 3. The next thing to learn is the vocabulary related to telling time. Hour, ora. Minute, minuto. Second, secondo. Clock, orologio. Che ore sono? Che ora è? What time is it? Presto, soon, early. Tardi, late. Ora, now. Subito, right now, right away. Ieri, yesterday. Oggi, today. Domani, tomorrow. Dopodomani, day after tomorrow. Essere in tempo, to be on time. Essere in ritardo, to be late. 4. In telling time in Italian, you use sono, which is plural, followed by the definite article le. For example, what time is it? It is 3 o'clock. Will be translated in Italian as che ore sono? Sono le tre. However, there are some exceptions to this. These are with 1 o'clock, noon, and midnight, where e is used instead of sono. For example, che ora è? È l'una, è mezzogiorno, è mezzanotte, which means, what time is it? It is 1 o'clock, noon, midnight. In a nutshell, to tell time above 1 o'clock, sono is used. 5. When you want to be more specific about telling time using minutes, all you have to do is add the word e, which means and, followed by the number of minutes, from 1 to 59. For example, sono le 4:05, which literally means it is 4 and 5 minutes, 4:05, and sono le 7:15 means it is 7 1/4, or it is 7:15, 7:15. 6. You can also use the following words to tell time. Una mezz'ora, a half of an hour. Un quarto d'ora, a quarter of an hour. E l'una e mezzo, it is 1 1/2, or it is 1:30, 1:30. 7. You can further contextualize the time you're telling by specifying what time of the day it is, using any of the following appropriately: di mattina, in the morning; del pomeriggio, in the afternoon; di sera, in the evening; di notte, at night. Since we have finally gotten all these tricks up our sleeves, how about we look at some phrases that will help you communicate time better? At what time? A che ora? What time does it start? A che ora inizia? What time does it open? A che ora apre? What time does it close? A che ora chiude? What time is it? Che ora è? How long does it take? Quanto tempo ci vuole? How long does last? Quanto dura? When are we meeting? Quando ci incontriamo? I'm late. Sono in ritardo. I'm early. Sono in anticipo. Around. Intorno a, alle, verso le. Now. Adesso. Ora. Right away, immediately, subito. On the dot, in punt. Now that you have learned how to tell the time, the best way to make it stick is to practice by quizzing yourself and, as frequently as you can, tell the time in Italian. When you do this consistently, you'll be a pro at telling the time sooner than you had thought. So start now, because a stitch in time saves 9. Dates in Italian. The first thing to learn when it comes to writing dates is knowing the days of the week, the dates, and the months of the year. Days of the week: Monday, lunedì; Tuesday, martedì; Wednesday, mercoledì; Thursday, giovedì; Friday, venerdì; Saturday, sabato; Sunday, domenica. Months of the year: January, gennaio; February, febbraio; March, marzo; April, aprile; May, maggio; June, giugno; July, luglio; August, agosto; September, settembre; October, ottobre; November, novembre; December, dicembre. Dates of the month are written like cardinal numbers with the article il. 1. L'uno, il primo; 2. Il due; 3. Il tre; 4. Il quattro; 5. Il cinque; 6. Il sei; 7. Il sette; 8. L'otto; 9. Il nove; 10. Il dieci; 11. L'undici; 12. Il dodici; 13. Il tredici; 14. Il quattordici; 15. Il quindici; 16. Il sedici; 17. Il diciassette; 18. Il diciotto; 19. Il diciannove; 20. Il venti; 21. Il ventidue; 23. Il ventitré; 24. Il ventiquattro; 25. Il venticinque; 26. Il ventisei; 27. Il ventisette; 28. Il ventotto; 29. Il ventinove; 30. Il trenta; 31. Il trentuno. In Italian, they write dates in the same order as in all European countries, which is giorno, mese, anno, or day, month, year in English. So, if you're writing dates in Italian in a letter, or filling out a form on July 10th, dates in Italian format will look like this: 10/07/2019. To write dates formally, the order you would use is the masculine article il, then the day, month, and year, with no punctuation in between. For example, January 4th, 2018 would be written as il 4 gennaio 2018. However, for the first of the month, you can also use either il 1 or il primo. If instead of writing you want to say dates in Italian, you read it by adding the article Oggi è il 18 febbraio 2019, 2019, which translates as today is the 18th of February 2019. Furthermore, to write years in Italian, you have to read the thousands first, 1,000 equals mille, then the hundreds, 900, novecento, and finally tens and units, 99 equals 99. For example, 1983 will be written as 1983, while for a more recent date such as 2019 is written as 2019. In this case, there are no hundreds after the thousand, so we skip directly to the tens and units. If someone asks your date of birth in Italian, you can answer in any of the following ways. Sono nata, il 3 maggio del 1983. Or, il mio compleanno è il 3 maggio, which means my birthday is May 3rd. Once your birthday comes around, be ready to receive tanti auguri from your friends, which literally means many wishes in English, or buon compleanno, happy birthday. Now that you have learned dates, days of the week, and months of the year, how about we take it further by practicing with some phrases that will help you get to know people or simply set appointments with friends or for work. What are you doing on March 1st? Cosa fai il 1 marzo? Do you have plans for Sunday? Hai programmi per domenica? Are you free this weekend? Sei libera questo fine settimana? Let's meet on the 12th at 3. Ci vediamo il 12 alle 3. Why not put all you have learned in this chapter into practice and see how much more fluent your Italian will be? Chapter Summary. Cardinal numbers in Italian are not gender compliant except uno, which is changed to una when used with a feminine noun. Colors in Italian change their gender depending on the noun they represent. For example, colors that end in O are changed to E when they represent a feminine noun. Telling the time in Italian is pretty simple. What you need to do is know your numbers from 1 to 60. Remember, sono is used to tell time above 1 o'clock, while e is used for 1 o'clock, noon, and midnight. In Italian, dates are written in the date, month, year sequence and are preceded by the masculine article il. In the next chapter, you will learn about nouns and articles. Author's Notes 2. Hey, it's Pro Language Learning. As mentioned at the start of this audiobook, you have an exclusive offer available to you for a short period of time. In case you forgot to claim your 100% free, no-strings-attached copy of Master Any Language by Audio Elevate, please, can you make sure to do so now? The reason for this is in the next coming chapters, I will be discussing and referring back to parts of the book which Audio Elevate has created for you to improve your fundamental. It will be pivotal to have this book available at all times when learning a language, as it will help you learn quickly and effectively. In case you forgot how to claim your free copy of Master Any Language, is either click below or type in on your search browser's URL free.audioelevate.com. Remember, before listening any further, please do this now, as I will refer back to parts of Master Any Language throughout this audiobook, free.audioelevate.com. Chapter 5. Nouns and Articles. In English, a noun is defined as the name of a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. This same definition works in Italian. Nouns are significant factors in learning a new language. While it is true that there are so many things, places, and animals to learn about, we should start with the most commonly used ones and proceed from there. Nouns are called I nomi in Italian, and they are gender-based, i.e. masculine or feminine. Before you begin to feel a little frustrated, as you imagine how complicated this is getting already, let me reassure you that spotting nouns in Italian is quite easy. Nouns in Italian always end with a vowel, and those that don't usually have their origin from foreign languages. Generally, nouns that end with the vowel a are feminine. Examples are scarpa, shoe, casa, house. Nouns that end with the vowel o are masculine. For example, libro, book, tavolo, table. However, as in many cases, there are exceptions. An example of such an exception is with some nouns that end with a or o. Words like tema, theme, and clima, climate, are masculine instead of feminine. Mano, hand, and radio, radio, are feminine instead of masculine. Nouns that end with e can be masculine or feminine. For example, colore, color, giornale, newspaper, and mare, sea, are masculine. Words like televisione, television, luce, light, and notte, night, are feminine. You don't have to beat yourself up. When it comes to differentiating masculine nouns from feminine nouns, the best way to learn is to speak the language frequently so that you get used to it. As with English, nouns in Italian can also take plural forms. In English, it is pretty straightforward in the sense that you simply add s or es at the end to pluralize it. However, in Italian, there are certain rules to follow. 1. Masculine nouns that end in o become I. For example, libro, book, becomes libri, books, and tavolo, table, becomes tavoli, tables. 2. Feminine nouns that end in a become e. For example, casa, house, becomes case, houses, and scarpa, shoe, becomes scarpe, shoes. Both masculine and feminine nouns that end with e become I in their plural forms. For example, colore, color, becomes colori, colors, and giornale, newspaper, becomes giornali, newspapers. Again, there are still exceptions to these rules, such as the masculine dito, finger, which has as its plural form as dita instead of diti. Constant use of the language will help, so you'll be able to recognize these exceptions and store them in your memory. Before I start talking about articles and how they are used with nouns, let's see some nouns and their Italian names. I'll start with the names of members of the family. Father, il padre. Mother, la madre. Parents, i genitori. Brother, il fratello. Sister, la sorella. Husband, il marito. Wife, la moglie. Baby, il bambino, la bambina. Son, il figlio. Daughter, la figlia. Uncle, lo zio. Aunt, la zia. Grandfather, il nonno. Grandmother, la nonna. Nephew, il cugino. La cugina. Fiancé, il fidanzato. Fiancé, la fidanzata. Stepfather, il patrigno. Stepmother, la matrigna. Father-in-law, il suocero. Mother-in-law, la suocera. Brother-in-law, il cognato. Sister-in-law, la cognata. Fish, il pesce. Bird, l'uccello. Cat, il gatto, la gata. Dog, il cane, la cagna. If you are wondering why animals are also listed amongst family members, it's because Italians love their pets and take care of them like family members. Food-related nouns. Food is almost a sacred aspect of the Italian culture. Their dishes are accepted and celebrated in many parts of the world. Recipes are also an important part of the Italian family tradition, so we will be looking at commonly used nouns related to food. Table, il tavolo. Glass, il bicchiere. Knife, il coltello. Fork, la forchetta. Spoon, il cucchiaio. Plate, il piatto. Vegetable, la verdura. Fruit, la frutta. Butter, il burro. Salt, il sale. Salad, l'insalata. Steak, la bistecca. Meat, la carne. Sandwich, il panino. Cake, la torta. Tea, il tè. Milk, il latte. Espresso coffee, il caffè. Food, il cibo. Breakfast, la colazione. Lunch, il pranzo. Dinner, la cena. Bread, il pane. Cheese, il formaggio. Wine, il vino. Nouns used for jobs and occupations. Below are some nouns related to work titles and occupations. You'll also notice that some have a masculine form and a feminine form, and this depends on whether the person referred to is male or female. while for other nouns the same form is used for both male and female genders. Teacher, l'insegnante. Doctor, il medico. Lawyer, l'avvocato. Engineer, l'ingegnere, l'ingegnera. Waiter, il cameriere, la cameriera. Farmer, il contadino, la contadina. Shop assistant, il commesso, la commessa. Salesman, il venditore, saleswoman, la venditrice. Employee, l'impiegato, l'impiegata. Secretary, il segretario, la segretaria. Writer, lo scrittore, la scrittrice. Student, lo studente, la studentessa. House husband, il casalingo. Housewife, la casalinga. Pensioner, il pensionato, la pensionata. Unemployed, il disoccupato, la disoccupata. Nouns related to politics and government. If you want to make meaningful conversations about politics and government, then below are some words that will help your conversation flow seamlessly. Flag, la bandiera. Election, l'elezione. Citizen, il cittadino, la cittadina. Deputy, il deputato, la deputata. Lawmaker, il legislatore. Parliament, il Parlamento. Congress, il Congresso. Newspaper, il giornale. Prime Minister, il primo ministero. Nouns for fashion and shopping. If you love shopping and you're thinking of taking a vacation in a country that's fashion-loving, Italy should definitely be amongst your top choices. It houses some of the best designer outlets in the world, and it would be only natural for you to want to be acquainted with words that will aid your shopping spree. So, let's get started. Bracelet, il braccialetto. Earrings, gli orecchini. Ring, l'anello. Necklace, la collana. Belt, la cintura. Accessory, l'accessorio. Dress, il vestito. Suit, l'abito. Coat, il cappotto. Hat, il cappello. Bag, la borsa. Shoes, le scarpe. Pants, i pantaloni. T-shirt, la maglietta. Market, il mercato. Store, il negozio. Signature, la firma. Credit card, la carta di credito. Money, i soldi. Cash, i contanti. Bank, la banca. Entertainment and hobby-related nouns. All work and no play, they say, makes Jack a dull boy. Italians are fun-loving people, so if you're vacationing in Italy or hanging out with some Italian friends, you ought to know how to have fun too. And these words will help you do just that. Hobbies, i passatempi. Sport, lo sport. Soccer, il calcio. Volleyball, la pallavolo. Basketball, la pallacanestro. Cycling, il ciclismo. Skiing, lo ski. Tennis, il tennis. Beach, la spiaggia. Book, il libro. Movie, il film. Actor, l'attore. Actress, l'attrice. Music, la musica. Nouns for things around the house, modes of transportation, and office. There are some objects you will come across or make use of every day. It will be useful to you to know what they're called. Things around the house. House, la casa. Bedroom, la camera da letto. Kitchen, la cucina. Bathroom, il bagno. Door, la porta. Window, la finestra. Stairs, la scala. Ceiling, il soffitto. Roof, il tetto. Bed, il letto. Clock, il orologio. Pillow, il cuscino. Blanket, la coperta. Soap, il sapone. Mirror, lo specchio. Towel, l'asciugamano. Broom, la scopa. Iron, il ferro da stiro. Fridge, il frigo. Washing machine, la lavatrice. Mode of transportation. Car, l'automobile. Bus, l'autobus. Bike, la bicicletta. Train, il treno. Truck, il camion. Airplane, l'aeroplano. Boat, la barca. Office-related nouns. Office, l'ufficio. Factory, la fabbrica. Company, l'azienda. Workshop, l'officina. Colleague, il collega. Superior, il superiore. Computer, il computer. Laptop, il portatile. Monitor, lo schermo. Mouse, il mouse. Keyboard, la tastiera. Printer, la stampante. The use of articles with nouns. An article is defined as a part of speech that indicates, specifies, and limits a noun. In English, there are three articles, a, an, and the. An article could be definite, the, or indefinite, a and an. A definite article is used to specify a particular noun in a sentence. For example, the boy who lives next door is sick. In this sentence, the is used to refer to a specific person, while an indefinite article is used when you're not referring to anything in particular. For instance, if someone says, I want a bag, it means they are not referring to any particular bag, they just want a bag. Likewise, in Italian, there are three articles that are used to specify or indicate a noun. They are the, a, and an. The is a definite article in Italian. However, there are 8 different ways to use the, depending on the gender of the noun, the letter it starts with, and if it is a singular or plural noun. Let's see the 8 different ways the is used in Italian. 1. Use il for singular masculine nouns, example, il libro, the book. 2. Use l'apostrophe for singular masculine nouns that start with a vowel, example, l'albero, the tree. 3. Use lo for nouns that start with z, y, pn, gn, and s plus consonant. Examples are lo zelo, the zeal, lo yen, the yen, lo pneumatico, the tire, lo gnomo, the gnome, lo sbaglio, the mistake. 4. Use I for plural nouns. Examples are I libri, the books, I tavoli, the tables. 5. Use li as the plural equivalent of the lo nouns. Examples are gli gnomi, the gnomes, gli pneumatici, the tires, gli sbagli, the mistakes. 6. Use la for singular feminine nouns that begin with a consonant. An example is la casa, the house. 7. Use l'apostrophe for singular feminine nouns that begin with a vowel. An example is l'arancia, the orange. 8. Use le for plural feminine nouns. Examples are le case, the houses, le scuole, the schools, le scarpe, the shoes. Unlike English, the indefinite articles in Italian are 3, and they are un, uno, and una. Un, used for singular masculine nouns. An example is un progetto, a project. Uno is used for singular masculine nouns that start with z, ps, pn, x, y, gn, and s plus consonant. Examples are uno pneumatico, a tire, uno sbaglio, a mistake. Una, used for singular feminine nouns. However, if the noun starts with a vowel, the a in una is omitted. Examples una casa, a house, un'ora, an hour. Now that you have learned about articles and their usage, it will be easy to form phrases and use them appropriately. Chapter Summary. The nouns in Italian are gender-based and usually end with a vowel, with the exception of those that are of foreign origin. The last letters in Italian nouns are usually changed when in their plural forms, depending on their gender. There are 8 ways to use the definite article the in Italian, and there are 3 indefinite articles in Italian, namely un, uno, and una. In the next chapter, you will learn about pronouns in Italian. Chapter 6. Pronouns. The English definition of pronouns states that they are words used instead of nouns. They are used to avoid repeating nouns over and again. In Italian, pronouns are used to replace people or things, and in both cases, the gender of the pronoun must reflect the gender of the noun it's replacing. Let's see these different types of pronouns in Italian and how they are used. There are three main types of pronouns in Italian: subject, direct object, and indirect object pronouns. 1. Subject pronoun. The subject pronoun in a sentence replaces the subject of the sentence, which is often the noun that is performing the verb. For example, in the sentence Io vado al cinema, I go to the movies, io, I, is the subject pronoun because it is doing the action of going to the movies. There are 7 subject pronouns in Italian. They are lo, I, tu, you, lui, he, lei, she, noi, we, voi, you, loro, they. Apart from being able to replace people, lui, lei, and loro can also be used to replace animals and things by being used as either it or they. Lui replaces a masculine singular noun as in lui il cane è bianco, it, the dog, is white. Lei replaces a feminine singular noun as in lei la macchina è veloce, it, the car, is fast. And loro replaces a plural noun as in loro I ragazzi fanno I compiti, they, the kids, do their homework. Also, lei is used to mean you in formal situations, and when used in this way, it is always written with a capital letter. For example, lei va con noi? Are you, formal, coming with us? Finally, Italian is one language that allows speakers to ignore the subject pronoun. For example, instead of saying tu vedi il libro, you see the book, you can simply say vedi il libro, you see the book. Again, this is highly dependent on context, so be sure this is clear before leaving out a subject pronoun from the sentence. 2. Indirect object pronoun is the receiver of the verb's action. For example, in the sentence do il vino a Maria, I'm giving the wine to Maria, Maria is the indirect object because she is receiving the action of the verb. Most times, indirect objects are preceded by the prepositions a, to. In indirect object pronouns, there are 2 types of indirect object pronouns: unaccented, those that go before the verb, and accented, those that go after the verb with the preposition a, to. Examples of some unaccented indirect pronouns are il professore mi dà I compiti, the teacher gives me homework. Lo ti scrivo ogni settimana, I write to you each week. Examples of some accented indirect pronouns are il professore dà I compiti a me, the teacher gives me homework. Lo scrivo a te ogni settimana, I write to you each week. 3. Direct object pronoun. The object in a sentence is the person or thing receiving the action of the verb. For example, David kicked the ball. In this sentence, the object is the ball. There are also 2 types of direct object pronouns in Italian, ones that go before the verb, called unaccented, and ones that go after the verb, called accented. Depending on their positions, unaccented and accented pronouns have slightly different forms. As with subject pronouns, the direct objects lo, la, and li can replace both people and objects. Examples of sentences with unaccented direct objects: lui mi ha colpito, he hit me. Lo ti amo, I love you. Tu lo troverai nel cassetto, you will find it in the drawer. Note that the unaccented direct pronouns mi, ti, lo, and la can be shortened to m apostrophe, t apostrophe, and l apostrophe before a vowel or before an h. Some examples are lui m'ha colpito, he hit me. Lo t'amo, I love you. Tu l'hai trovato nel cassetto, you found it in the drawer. On the other hand, accented direct objects come after the noun, Let's take a look at the sentences below with accented pronouns. Lui ha colpito me. He hit me. Io amo te. I love you. Tu troverai lui nel cassetto. You will find it in the drawer. Having learned about pronouns, you can confidently use them in sentences instead of nouns. For practice, write down some sentences and see how you can replace the nouns with pronouns. This should be fun. Chapter Summary. Pronouns are used to replace nouns, people, and things, and they must be of the same gender as the nouns they are replacing. There are 3 types of pronouns in Italian: subject pronouns, direct object pronouns, and indirect object pronouns. Both direct and indirect object pronouns have unaccented and accented pronouns. In the next chapter, you will learn about verbs. Chapter 7, Verbs. In the previous chapters, I wrote extensively on nouns and articles, and now it is time to see how verbs are used to describe the action in Italian. Words like eat, sleep, dance, run, hit are all verbs. Verbs in Italian are a little more complex than other parts of speech. When verbs are inflected, a change in the form of a word, typically the ending, to express a grammatical function or attribute such as tense, mood, person, number, case, and gender, they are called conjugations. Some examples of inflections are dog, dogs, walk, walked, gulf, engulf, read, reader. The letters in italics are used to show the inflection. There are 3 classes of verbs in Italian: types, patterns of conjugation, namely, those that end with are, example, amare, to love; those that end with ere, example, credere, to believe. Note that arre, orre, and urre are seen as a part of this second conjugation group, since they are derivatives of the Latin ere, but had lost their first e after the suffix got joined to the stems vowel, a, o, and u, thus forming verb conjugations such as tradurre, to translate, trarre, to pull or to draw, porre, to put or to place. These types of verbs are called irregular verbs. Finally, those that end with ire. Example is dormire, to sleep. These 3 groups of verb conjugation above are called regular verbs. Below are some examples of verbs in Italian. Write, scrivere. Worry, preoccuparsi. Work, lavorare. Watch, guardare. Want, volere, desiderare. Wake up, svegliarsi. Wait, aspettare. Use, usare. Understand, capire. Turn on, accendere. Turn off, spegnere. Try, provare. Travel, viaggiare. Translate, tradurre. Think, pensare. Teach, insegnare. Talk, parlare. Take, prendere. Swim, nuotare. Study, studiare. Start, begin, cominciare. Stand, alzarsi. Spend, spendere. Speak, parlare. Smoke, fumare. Sleep, dormire. Sit, sedersi. Sing, cantare. Sign, firmare. Send, spedire. Sell, vendere. See, vedere. Say, dire. Run, correre. Reply, rispondere. Read, mettere. Rain, piovere. Put, leggere. Accept, accettare. Allow, permettere. Ask, chiedere, domandare. Believe, credere. Break, rompere. Bring, portare. Buy, comprare. Can, be able. Potere. Cancel, cancellare. Change, cambiare. Clean, pulire. Comb, pettinare. Complain, lamentarsi. Cough, tossire. Count, contare. Cut, tagliare. Dance, ballare. Draw, disegnare. Drink, bere. Drive, guidare. Eat, mangiare. Explain, spiegare. Fall, cadere. Fill, riempire. Find, trovare. Finish, finire. Fix, aggiustare. Fly, volare. Forget, dimenticare. Give, dare. Go, andare. Have, avere. Hear, sentire. Know, sapere, conoscere. Learn, imparare. Leave, partire. Andarsene. Listen, ascoltare. Live, vivere. Look, guardare. Lose, perdere. Make, do, fare. Open, aprire. Close, shut, chiudere. Organize, organizzare. Pay, pagare. Play, giocare. Finally, in Italian, subject pronouns like lei and io are not compulsory and are only used when stressed. For example, io credo, I believe, can be written as credo, I believe. Chapter summary. Inflected Italian verbs are called conjugations, and there are three patterns of conjugations: are, are, ere, ere, ire, ire. The conjugations arre, orre, and urre are seen as a part of this second conjugation group, ere, since they are derivatives of the Latin ere, but had lost their first e after the suffix got joined to the stem's vowel, a, o, and u, thus forming verb conjugations such as tradurre, to translate, trarre, to pull or to draw, porre, to put or to place. These types of verbs are called irregular verbs. In Italian, subject pronouns like lei and io are not compulsory and are only used when stressed. For example, io credo, I believe, can be written as credo, I believe. In the next chapter, you will learn about adjectives. Chapter 8. Adjectives. Adjectives are words that modify or describe a noun. In Italian, adjectives agree with the number and gender of the noun they describe. There are two types of adjectives, those that end with o and those that end with e. Adjectives that end with o have four forms, namely masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, and feminine plural. For example, il libro is masculine singular, I libri is masculine plural. You should note that singular masculine adjectives that end with o are preceded by il, while the plural masculine adjectives are preceded by e. Plural feminine adjectives that end with o are preceded by le, while singular feminine adjectives are preceded by la. Examples are le signore and la signora, respectively. Here's something you should also note about Italian adjectives. When an adjective is used to describe two nouns of different genders, it keeps the masculine ending as seen in this example. I padre e le madre italiani, which means Italian fathers and mothers. Also, if an adjective ends in io, like vecchio, old, the o is removed to form the plural. An example is l'abito vecchio, the old suit, which has its plural form to be gli abiti vecchi, the old suits. On the other hand, adjectives that end with e are the same for the masculine and the feminine singular. For the plural, the e changes to I, whether the noun is masculine or feminine. Examples are il ragazzo inglese, the English boy, and la ragazza inglese, the English girl. The plural forms of the aforementioned sentences are I ragazzi inglesi, the English boys, and le ragazze inglesi, the English girls. P.S. Take note of the words underlined in italics and bold. Cross-check them with the information in the beginning of this chapter for a more solid understanding. As in many cases, there are some exceptions to rules, and in this case, We will consider adjectives that end in other words apart from o and e. An example is, adjectives that end in yo form its plural with the ending ee, adio, adii. Other examples can be seen in the table below. Singular ending ca, plural ending che. Singular ending cia, plural ending ce. Singular ending cio, plural ending ci. Singular ending co, plural ending chi. Singular ending ga, plural ending ghe. Singular ending gia, plural ending ge. Singular ending gio, plural ending gi. Singular ending glia, plural ending glie. Singular ending glio, plural ending gli. Singular ending go, plural ending ghi. Singular ending scia, plural ending sce. Singular ending scio, plural ending sci. Unlike English, descriptive adjectives in Italian are usually positioned after the noun they modify, and with which they agree in gender and number. Here are some examples to guide you. È una lingua difficile. It is a difficult language. And Marina è una ragazza generosa. Marina is a generous girl. Regardless, there are some adjectives that are positioned before the noun they modify. Below are some commonly used ones. Beautiful, bello. Good, able, bravo. Ugly, brutto. Good, buono. Dear, caro. Bad, cattivo. Large, great, grande. Long, lungo. New, nuovo. Small, little, piccolo. Same, stesso. Old, vecchio. True, vero. Young, giovane. NB. When grande is placed before a noun, it means great. Example, una grande piazza. But if it is placed after a noun, the meaning changes to big, as in una piazza grande. Chapter summary. There are two types of adjectives, those that end with o and those that end with e. When an adjective is used to describe two nouns of different genders, it keeps the masculine ending. Adjectives that end with o have four forms, namely masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, and feminine plural. On the other hand, adjectives that end with e are the same for the masculine and the feminine singular, while for the plural the e changes to I, whether the noun is masculine or feminine. Descriptive adjectives in Italian are usually positioned after the noun they modify and with which they agree in gender and number. In the next chapter, you will learn about prepositions, adverbs, and conjunctions. Chapter 9. Prepositions, Adverbs, and Conjunctions. Prepositions are words used before a noun or pronoun to show the relationship between the noun or pronoun and other words. Prepositions are used to indicate time, location, or to introduce an object in a sentence. Examples of some English prepositions are to, for, on, with, of, at. Common Italian prepositions are di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra, of, from, at, to, from, since, by, in, with, on, about, above, for, between, within, respectively. 1. Di. This means of or from in Italian. It is used to indicate where a person is from, the material an item is made from, or a subject matter being spoken about. Some examples of sentences with this preposition are Sono di New York. I'm from New York. Il maglione di lana. The wool sweater. Giorgio discute sempre di politica. Giorgio always discusses politics. 2. A. This is translated as at or to in English. It is used to indicate direction, seasons of the year, the recipient or destination of a thing. Examples of some sentences with a. Ho scritto una lettera a Maria. I wrote a letter to Maria. Alle 7, at 7 o'clock a.m. It can also be used, in sentences without a preposition, to connect an adjective to a noun or to connect an adverb to a verb. For example, la coperta a strisce, the striped blanket. 3. Da. This preposition has several meanings in English, such as from, since, by. It is used to state where a person is from, the amount of time spent, who or what did a thing, the value or worth of a thing. Also, when used with the name of a person, it is a casual way of saying you are going to their house. Here are some sentences to further explain this. Vengo da Milano. I come from Milan. Non ho visto Francesco da ieri. I haven't seen Francesco since yesterday. La palla è stata presa da un giocatore. The ball was taken by a player. Una casa da $1,000,000, $1 million house. Vado da Maria. I'm going to Maria's house. 4. In. This, in my opinion, is the easiest of all prepositions because it is used the way in is used in English. Furthermore, it also means in literally. An example is sono in cucina. I am in the kitchen. 5. Con. This preposition means with in English. Mangio la pasta con la mia famiglia. I eat pasta with my family. Ho pagato con le monete. I paid with coins. 6. Su. The English translation of this preposition is on, about, and above. Examples: Il libro è sullo scaffale. The book is on the shelf. Sono andato a una conferenza su Dante. I went to a lecture about Dante. 7. Per. Just like in, per is pretty straightforward, and it means for. Examples: Starò qui per una settimana. I will stay here for a week. Questo è un regalo per Mary. This is a gift for Mary. 8. Tra, fra. There is no difference between tra and fra. It's just a matter of preference for the speaker. They both mean between or within. Example: La banca è tra la scuola e il bar. The bank is between the school and the bar. It is important to note that Italian prepositions often change form depending on the word that follows behind. When the word is followed by the definite article the, a preposition is combined with the article to form a new word that indicates the joining of two words. For example, in Il libro è sullo scaffale, the word su has changed its form to sullo because of the definite article il. Let's study how some prepositions are combined with articles to form new words. For the prepositions below, they are the ones that change form depending on the word that follows them. Italian preposition combinations with a. E plus il, al. E plus lo, allo. A plus L apostrophe, ALL apostrophe. A plus la, alla. A plus I. A plus GLI, agli. A plus LE, alle. Italian preposition combinations with da. Da plus il, dal. Da plus lo, dallo. Da plus L apostrophe, DALL apostrophe. Da plus la, dalla. Da plus I, dai. Da plus gli, dagli. Da plus le, dalle. Italian preposition combinations with di. Di plus il, del. Di plus lo, dello. Di plus L apostrophe, DELL apostrophe. Di plus la, della. Di plus I, dei. Di plus GLI, degli. Di plus LE, delle. Italian preposition combinations with su. Su plus il, sul. Su plus lo, sullo. Su plus L apostrophe, SULL apostrophe. Su plus la, sulla. Su plus I, sui. Su plus GLI, sugli. Su plus LE, sulle. Nevertheless, the articles con, per, and in don't change their forms based on the word that follows them. Adverbs. Adverbs are words that give meaning to, modify, a verb, an adjective, determiners, clauses, sentences, and even other adverbs. They give expression to time, location, manner, circumstances, etc. Examples of adverbs are, e.g., gently, quite, then, there. Italian adverbs usually end with mente, e.g., lentamente, slowly. However, there are exceptions to this rule, and we will be seeing them in this subtopic. But before then, I want you to be familiar with the rules governing Italian adverbs. Rules governing Italian adverbs. 1. Adverbs follow the verb and past participle. They modify directly in both present and past tenses, respectively. For example, lui balla male, he dances badly, and lui ha ballato male, he danced badly. 2. If there is an object in the sentence, adverbs still follow the verb and past participle they modify directly in both present and past tenses, respectively. For example, l'attrice ha ballato felicemente nella fontana di Trevi. The actress danced happily in the Trevi fountain. 3. When a question is asked in a sentence, the adverb can either be at the beginning or the end of the sentence. For example, tu ti trucchi ancora? Are you still putting on your makeup? When using interrogative adverbs like where, who, when, why, what, they are placed at the beginning of the sentence. An example is quando andiamo al teatro? When are we going to the theater? When the sentence starts with ci apostrophe e or ci sono, there is, there are, the sentence is arranged in the order subject plus object plus adverb plus rest of the sentence. Examples are, c'è una festa dopo la cerimonia di laurea. There's a party after the graduation ceremony. And ci sono coniglietti fuori. There are bunnies outside. 5. If a sentence has the adverb già already, it comes before the verb in a sentence. Example, hai già lavato I piatti? Did you already wash the dishes? Now that you are familiar with these rules, it is time to learn the 3 types of Italian adverbs. 3 types of Italian adverbs. 1. Adverbs derived from adjectives. 2. Simple adverbs. 3. Interrogative adverbs. Adverbs derived from adjectives. Turning adjectives to adverbs is pretty simple. All you have to do is take the feminine form of adjectives that end with o, remove the o, and add mente. An example is the adjective lento, slow. To turn lento into an adverb is to use the feminine form of lento, which is lenta, and add mente to get lentamente, slowly. Example, lui cammina lentamente. He walks slowly. Also, for adjectives that end with e, there won't be a need to change the spelling. All you have to do is add mente behind it. For example, the adjective felice, happy, becomes felicemente, happily. Simple adverbs. These are the adverbs that are not formed from anything. These adverbs are learned just the way they are. Below are some of those adverbs and their meaning. Always, sempre. Beyond, oltre. Not anymore, non più. Never, non mai. Together, insieme. After, dopo. Behind, dietro. Inside, dentro. Against, contro. Well, bene. Interrogative adverbs. These are the adverbs used to ask questions. They usually appear in front of a question. Below are some interrogative adverbs and their use in sentences. Come, how. Come mai, how come. Quando, when. Perché, why. Dove, where. Di dove, from where. Quanto, how much, how many. 1. Quando mangiamo la cena? When are we eating dinner? 2. Perché non hai assaggiato il lampredotto? Why didn't you try the lampredotto, tripe sandwich from Florence? Conjunctions. A conjunction is a word that joins 2 words, phrases, or sentences together. Examples of conjunctions in Italian are e, ma, anche, o, perché, che, and se. And, but, also, or, why, what, when, if. With Italian conjunctions, you don't have to worry about them agreeing with the gender of a word or its singular or plural forms. There are two types of Italian conjunctions: coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. 1. Coordinating conjunctions. This is when two conjunctions with the same level of importance in a sentence are used together. For example, vado in pizzeria e poi al cinema. I go to a pizzeria and then to the movies. In this sentence, e and poi are two coordinating conjunctions because there is no hierarchy of importance between them. To further explain this, in this sentence, going to the movies is not dependent on going to the pizzeria. 2. Subordinating conjunctions. This is when an adverb establishes a dependence between two sentences. For example, vado in pizzeria perché ho fame. I go to the pizzeria because I am hungry. In this sentence, the conjunction because makes going to the pizzeria dependent on the speaker being hungry. Let's take a look at some sentences with conjunctions. I eat bread and cheese. Mangio pane e formaggio. Vado al cinema e viene anche Marco. I go to the movies and Marco will also go. Oggi non esco, inoltre piove. I won't go out today, besides it's raining. Non so ballare né cantare. I can neither dance nor sing. Vuoi la torta oppure il gelato? Do you want ice cream or cake? Non esco nemmeno neppure neanche per un minute. I won't go out, not even for a minute. Non esci? Nemmeno, neanche, neppure io? You don't want to go out? Neither do I. Se fossi un pesce vivrei nel mare. If I were a fish, I would live in the sea. Poiché, visto che siccome non mi chiami, vado da sola. Since you didn't call me, I'll go by myself. There are obviously many other sentences I could use to show you how conjunctions are used. However, I won't be able to cover all of them in this book. So, here's a little practical work you could do to familiarize yourself with Italian prepositions, adverbs, and conjunctions. Try writing out a few sentences that have adverbs, prepositions, and conjunctions, and practice them regularly. Chapter Summary. Prepositions are words used before a noun or pronoun to show the relationship between the noun or pronoun and other words. Prepositions are used to indicate time, location, or to introduce an object in a sentence. Common Italian prepositions are di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. There are three types of Italian adverbs: those derived from adjectives, simple adverbs, and interrogative adverbs. There are two types of Italian conjunctions: coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. In the next chapter, you will learn about conversational phrases. Chapter 10. Conversational Phrases. This, to me, is the most crucial stage of your learning Italian. Now that you have learned about numbers, dates, and parts of a speech, the next action should be to use this knowledge in conversations. In this chapter, we'll be looking at some commonly used conversational phrases to help you start conversations fluently. These phrases have been grouped for easier comprehension. Greetings. This is the most important conversation starter you need to learn as a beginner in learning Italian. You would need to say hi to someone, or at least respond to someone's greeting. Imagine having a question to ask, and you don't know how to approach someone. That would be a pain, right? So let's see some of these greetings in Italian. Ciao. Hello, goodbye, informal. Salve. Hello, any time of day. Salve, come va? Hello, how are you? Buongiorno. Good morning. Buon pomeriggio. Good afternoon. Buonasera. Good evening. Buonanotte. Good night. Grazie mille. Thank you very much. Grazie a lei. Thank you too, in reply to thank you from someone else. Arrivederci. Alla prossima. Goodbye. See you next time. Bella giornata oggi, vero? The weather is lovely today, isn't it? Mi chiamo. My name is. Sono americano, canadese, inglese. I'm American, Canadian, English. Lei di dove? Where are you from? Piacere. Nice to meet you. Mi sto divertendo molto. I'm having a great time. How to say, I don't understand. While you attempt to speak Italian to a native speaker or someone who is more seasoned in the language, there is a high possibility that you won't understand a few things they will say. So, how do you draw their attention to that? Let's see some examples. Mi scusi, non capisco. I don't understand. Non parlo italiano molto bene. I don't speak Italian very well. Potrebbe scrivermelo? Please write that down for me. Cosa vuole dire? What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Note, cosa vuol dire questo, quello, what does this mean, when showing something that has been written. Words used in restaurants. There is no doubt that Italians are known for their world-famous cuisine. If you are visiting Italy, you'll certainly want to visit 1 or 2 restaurants. And you will need to know how to navigate your way around linguistically. Un tavolo per uno, 2 per favore. A table for 1, 2, please. Siete già aperti? Are you open yet? Possiamo aspettare per un tavolo? Can we wait for a table? Possiamo sederci laggiù? Can we sit over there? Mi scusi? Excuse me, calling a waiter. Cosa mi consiglia? What do you recommend? Qual è la specialità della casa? What's your most popular dish? Cos'è questo? What's this? Mi farebbe un assortimento di piatti migliori. Please bring me a selection of nice things. Facci a lei. Lascio decidere a lei. It's up to you. You can decide. Il conto, per favore. The check, please. Potrei avere il menù, per favore? Can I have the menu, please? Transportation. Whether you are vacationing in Italy or relocating there, you will have to move around. So here are some conversation phrases around transportation to get you going, literally. Vorrei andare a... I want to go to... A che ora parte il prossimo treno, autobus per... What time is the next train, bus, to... Quanto costa? How much is it? Un biglietto, 2 biglietti, per favore. 1 ticket, 2 tickets to... Please. Quanto dura il viaggio? How long does it take? Dove devo andare adesso? Where should I go now? Quando parte? When does it leave? Che ore sono? Adesso. What time is it now? Questo treno autobus ferma a... Does this train, bus, stop in... Mi scusi, è qui... Excuse me, is this... Useful when you're on the bus, train, and aren't sure when to get off. Dove si trova... Sulla carta. Where is... On the map. Phrases for asking directions. Mi scusi, posso farle una domanda? Excuse me, could I ask you something? Vorrei andare a... I want to go to... If you know the name of your destination. Vorrei andare qui... I want to go here, pointing to your destination on the map. Mi sono perso. Mi sono persa. I'm lost. Come posso arrivarci? How can I get there? E di qua? Is it this way? Useful for checking if you're walking in the right direction. Potrebbe indicarmelo sulla carta? Can you show me on the map? Dove? Where is? Shopping in Italy. Italy is famous for its designer homes, and if you want to go shopping, you should know how to communicate. Mi piace questo. I like this. Quanto costa questo? How much is this? Se li compro entrambi? If I buy these together? A useful way to knock the price down. Note, li means them for masculine nouns. It is okay to use it with 2 masculine nouns or a mix of feminine and masculine nouns in a sentence. However, when referring to 2 feminine nouns, le should be used instead. È troppo caro per me. It's too expensive for me. Può farmi un sconto? Can you give me a discount? Cerco una... I'm looking for a... Sto solo guardando. I'm just looking around. Grazie, continuo a guardare. Thank you, I'll keep looking when you're getting hassled to buy something. Un attimo, just a moment. Sì, grazie. Yes, please. No, grazie. No, thanks. Phrases for medical emergency. Inasmuch as no one wants to fall sick, it might be an unavoidable situation that just happens. The best way to get help is to be able to call for help. Below are some phrases to help you in such a situation. Può aiutarmi, per favore? Can you help me, please? Devo andare da un medico. I need to see a doctor. Non mi sento bene. I don't feel well. Non si sente bene. He, she doesn't feel well. C'è un ospedale da questi parti? Is there a hospital near here? Mi porti in ospedale, per favore. Take me to the hospital, please, to a taxi driver. Mi fa male qui. It hurts here, pointing to body part. Ho bisogno di medicine. I need some medicine. Some other conversational phrases. Mi scusi, ma I'm sorry to bother you, but posso farle una domanda? Could I ask you something quickly? Cerco un posto qui in zona dove si mangi bene. I'm looking for a place with good food around here. Cerco un bar carino qui in zona. I'm looking for a nice cafe in the area. Ne conosce qualcuno? Do you know anyone here? C'è qualche posto interessante da visitare qui in zona? Is there anything interesting to see in this area? Grazie comunque. Thank you anyway, if they can't help you. Having learned these amazing phrases, try stringing them into sentences and use them in your everyday life so that they stick and become a part of you. Have fun learning.